So you're probably wondering, Lore, why are you about an hour late? I was actually thinking about that, actually, because I actually got to bed at a decent time the last 2 nights, and I've been bothering to take naps, too, to try and play a little bit of catch-up. So, like, I don't feel particularly exhausted, so why didn't I wake up until, 9? It's so strange. It's almost like my body automatically wakes up at a specific point in the day. And that point in the day moved an hour. Like, for real, if you presume that it's still an hour ago, I'm actually on time to start stream. Which is about right. Instead of, an hour late. Anyways, DST continues to suck. Moving on. In other news, water wet. Ulracilio. So I'm showing off a little tip here. This little route I'm going. So you warp to the spot. You go pretty much straight. I guess this is east. And then you go up here. And then you kill this guy. This is the experience farm spot. Right here. A level 62 Alpha Blissey. There's several ways to bring down a Blissey. I don't even have an ideal way to do it, personally, but it doesn't really matter. So far, the score on the screen is up to date, Deckfish. See, that gets a good 10,000 or so experience. Speaking of which, I apologize for those of you who don't want to see this, but for those of you who do, I've been saving something for you. Because I did a little bit of organizing and sorting off camera. That's not what I heard, Zactath, but I'll take your word on it. Yeah, let's see if it worked properly. Yep. There's our Snorlax. Good morning, Loke. Good morning, Izmir Star. I've heard that the ports are buggy and the netcode is awful. Don't mistake me. Like, classic Battlefront is classic Battlefront and is actually pretty legit. Wasn't for me, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a fan of, versus multiplayer and competitive multiplayer, and I just never, like, it was one of those there's nothing to do things. But they were pretty solid for versus competitive multiplayer, so sure. But the new port apparently doesn't understand what netcode is. That is the biggest complaint I hear. Yeah, I blew through its story mode in like, God, 2 hours, I want to say, back in the day. And I was just like, okay, that's interesting. Thank you, Irame, very, very much for your support. I do appreciate. Thank you. I'll put that towards Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters, Mina the Hollower, and the Monoblock. No. The opposite of that, Evo. So anyways, we got a couple more here. And that's true, I haven't seen the Johto Sneasel yet. Actually, valid point. So, this is partially me showing off these evolutions on camera, but also partially, I was legitimately curious if you could essentially bank an evolution. And it's obvious you can, but I wasn't sure. Hey, good morning, Braylon. You ever get the vibe that they're better at designing cute Pokemon than later Pokemon? I don't know, maybe it's just me. Especially more later. What is this partner anniversary thing? What? I'm not sure my own partner anniversary. Yardos. Yeah, what's really funny is I know some people prefer Pokemon visually, aesthetically, and some people prefer Digimon. I'm on the Pokemon side of that. But you can tell they definitely started bleeding over a little bit later on. Because Pokemon are dangerous, Luke. Terrifying creatures of unimaginable power. Not yet, Blade Devel, but I also haven't poked at that yet. I need to talk to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the spa. Pokemon can be cute. Like, Blissey is cute. Aww. And then you have whatever this thing is. Like, just... Like, what is this thing? Cute things can't be dangerous. Anyways, but yeah, so these are the ones right here that I need an evolution item for some kind. So that's Trade, that's Thunderstone, that's Trade, that's Metal Coat, that's Leaf Stone. I forget what that is. That's the upgrade item. That's Dusk Stone, I want to say. I still need a Leaf Stone for that. Or no, not a Leaf Stone, sorry, the other one. Ice Stone. That's Trade item. That's a Leaf Stone. That's the metal cut thing at night, I want to say. And that, I forget. But anyways, all of these, I looked it up last night. As you can see, I got a little more sorty with the list. That's levels. This is happiness. These two, Riolu and Baneri, just refuse to be happy. It's actually kind of frustrating, because you notice our Blissey already evolved from happiness. Be happy, damn it! Why won't you be happy? Why don't you love me? Sorry. These are all just level. Just evolve through levels. But rather than waste your time with that, I'll do that off camera, as I have been. Alright, so I need these 3 Pokemon, and I need something that's good anti-water. I actually checked. There's only one Lucario in the world, and it's an alpha. But yeah, I probably could catch it. I have a very good anti-water setup, do I? I guess I'll bring Miss Magius and you. Is there a Lugia? There is not. Do it, Evo. Do it. Have you seen Dune 1? Which is the real question there. Did you like Dune 1? Next relevant question. Then, yeah, you're probably going to like Dune 2. And you should probably go watch it. Yeah, Yura and I actually share a similar complaint about Dune 1. But it's hard to argue, at least for me, that it is not an extraordinarily well-constructed film. This. It's not so much a complaint about Dune as the movie as it is about Dune, the setting, really. Dune is pretty freaking dark. Like, to honestly an unpleasant degree. I was most reminded, Yura reminded me of this last night, I was most reminded of my comments during the Elder Scrolls lore run. Because in Elder Scrolls in lore, life is cheap. You know, life is just, whatever. It doesn't really have the kind of value that it otherwise could, and that is absolutely true in Dune. And the movie does a good job of portraying that, I think is how I want to phrase that. Let's, hold off for right now. You know, I've never heard... Yeah, it's... God. I've never heard about, Warhammer 40k taking cues from Dune, but I'd be shocked if they didn't. Like, legitimately shocked. Hey, Preka. I'm going to ask a strange question. What is that? Well, yeah, it's actually funny to me because one of the most common complaints I hear Warhammer fans levy at Warcraft is how Warcraft just takes ideas from all over and uses it for themselves. Warhammer fans say that. Anyways. Yeah, I'll say, see every franchise ever. I hate to repeat my joke I said earlier, but this just in, water is wet. No, I tend to get it on, like, for example, my WoW lore run or my Lorecraft series, Dakota. I read every comment I get, as I am fond of repeating. That's true. Dune is not grimdark. Now, do me a favor really quick and go look up the Crusade. I'll wait. Look up the death toll of the Crusade, actually. That we just need one factoid there. Let's raise your special attack, I think. Probably Dakota. That's extremely common in comments, in my experience. My overall point, though, whether it's grimdark or not, I'm not actually interested in arguing. Dune is definitely one of the cynical sci-fis. We've actually talked about that before, how the ridiculous majority of sci-fi is on the cynical side of the spectrum, to varying degrees. But it's because So I don't know about in other countries. I can't speak to other writers, but in the states, a huge number of sci-fi writers and the writers who kind of built what we think of nowadays as sci-fi, they were growing up in post World War One, post World War Two, and the Cold War. So the overwhelming majority of what they wrote was pretty freaking dark, and automatically assumed that things would get worse over time, not better. And this is just shown in pretty much every single one of their major sci-fi works. And because of how nature's story works, people will copy and repeat things from other writers. And so I would say majority-wise, like percentage-wise, the majority of science fiction is overall cynical. In other words, things will get worse, not better. You would argue that Dune isn't that. You would be wrong. It's very rare I say that, but you have got like this giant mountain to overcome there, Mike Tomato. Again, I'm going to point right back to the Crusade I just mentioned. Just not even the Crusades, because yeah, there's several. How the hell is Dune, of all things, hopeful? Don't worry, in a few thousand years after I've merged with a worm, we'll be able to reset humanity so that it stops being in an eternal stasis. Just wow. Yeah, okay, we're just going to agree to disagree on that one, Michael. I'm going to walk away from that immediately. Wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and sell. I mean, Lord knows I myself have made the argument that a setting that begins on Grimdark but ends on positivity is not... Or Grimdark's the wrong word. But begins on bad and ends on good is not bad in terms of the cynical side of things. But yeah, I don't think Dune as is, the Dune that exists, is how I'm going to phrase that, qualifies. But I don't know enough about how much his son changed things to give a valid opinion on that. So I'll just walk away from that. Okay. What was I doing? Right. I was catching a Manaphy. Let's go catch a Manaphy. Okay. Let's go ahead and save first. Well, what's probably going to happen is the story is going to continue being awesome, and then all of a sudden, you know, the devil's going to show up and be like, I'm going to destroy the entire world. And then we'll beat them, and then we'll go back to the story actually being good. That's what I'm predicting right now. And because this is a Gen 4 thing, it's probably Giratina. Make sure to save in case we screw this up. And let's make it evening. Either way, I should also mention, in the interest of total honesty, that I also don't like anything in Dune after the first book. Like, that series fell off, for me, really, really hard. Really, really fast. I was just like, yeah, no. Although... Okay, so... I'm going for Sands Reach. I'm at Sands Reach. this one. Okay. We're on track so far. It's up here somewhere. In a non-spoilery fashion, the reason I don't like the later Dune stuff is because it goes into nonsense land. Dune itself is actually extraordinarily down-to-earth, but no pun intended. I wouldn't call it hard sci-fi by any measure, but it's the kind of thing where the measures and the scales and the stakes and the concepts, the characters, are all things that are reasonable and understandable and measurable and quantifiable. Then it gets to the later stuff. And again, I'm not going to spoil, because you requested I don't spoil. I wouldn't do that anyways. But, what? And I think that's the best way to explain the later Dune stuff is, what? This is not where I want to be. Where is this? Well, as was mentioned in chat, Herbert was just kind of making stuff up as he went. Okay, looks like it's there. I see it. I actually see it on the map. No, I see it. Yeah, you know me, I like a dark story, but I like a dark story that gets better, you know, Dragon Age, as I'm fond of saying. If darkness is the end of the conversation, then I lose interest immediately. Manaphy. Alright, so we want to capture both of these if we can. They have a special ability, which apparently is, like, we haven't encountered before. Oh, no, I'm not here. I'm not here. Ignore me, ignore me. Get my Ultra Balls ready. I am, unfortunately, not Lord Harrowmont. What is it? Ow. Oh, my God. Okay, like, I don't want to fight you. Like, for real, I don't want to fight you. No. Target the guy right in front of you, please. Okay. Okay, we managed to aggro only one, which is good. Okay, yeah. Sure feeling. Safe trip, Macavana. Come on, or not. That's okay. Wow. That says a lot for how out of the webcomic scene I am. Most of what were the big webcomics I've followed since they started, which is usually in the 90s. For there to be one I've never even heard of. Like when you say that, it reminds me of God, what was it, Spider Girl, Arachnid Girl. Like oh, it's pure text. Oh, okay, never mind. That would explain it. I'm found. Okay, so I'm probably gonna have to fight this thing, but it's level nothing. I did bring. Oh, I forgot to change his moves. Okay. Let's send out you. Oh yeah, by the way, that's what a evolved quillfish looks like. I also discovered something while I was getting set up for this particular quest chain. Check this out. So I'm going to attack it with something. I'm going to stand in the way. It doesn't actually do any damage, but it's just kind of cute. They acknowledge the fact that you can be in the way of the attacks. Whoa, there. Okay, okay. Do this. And there goes our overkill. Let's send out the tank. It doesn't do anything on function. It's pure cosmetic. It's just funny that they acknowledge that you can get in the way. That would be an interesting mechanic, though. Because you can take 3 hits before you're dead. Like, as a player, as a trainer, you effectively have 3 HP. So it would be interesting to see what would happen if you could use that HP in battle, right? De-aggro me, please. You're turbo not de-aggroing me. Yeah. Okay, well, we got the Fion. And we're dead. So this is actually our second death ever. The other one happened off camera, too. Can you guess what the other death was, too? That's right! It was falling damage. No, I would just make it so that you just get to block 2 hits, period, regardless of what their strength is. So let's actually set you up as I intended to. Put that there. Now, hopefully, I can just go right back to it and the door's still open. Just in a second. Thank you. I would say more, but I don't want to spoil. If there's one thing I've discovered about wearing a hat for hours on end, it's that it gives me a headache, so I tend to not do that. Okay, door is open. Thank God. They immediately aggroed me. Wow. Feels scripted almost. Alright. That's another Fion, which I don't care about. Die. Hang on, I did catch a Fion, right? Am I just losing my brain here? Oh. Yeah, these are mythics. I'm almost positive I caught the Fion already. Okay, you can tell how much attention I'm paying. Whatever. Either way, I don't care about the Fions. I care about the Manaphy. Well, let's kill the Fiona really quick. This is what you get for killing me and costing me a revive. Okay, that's cool. Loke, let's see what you got here. Well, Loke is dead. Send out, I guess the Overquill again. A little bit too spicy, but otherwise quite good here. Thank you for asking. They gave us too little rice, though. It was really sad. Okay. Down B. And if you get. Let's get the hell out of here. Heal, because that hurt a little. Yeah, Fiona and Manaphy are very, very weird Pokemon. But then again, to be blunt, most mythic Pokemon are not really great. Yet Manaphy is a migratory Pokemon, drifting to and fro across the sea since long ago. At least that's what it says in the Seas legend. In the other game, I had a jolly good time, hard time getting hold of this tome, but it seems it was worth it in the end. Quest complete. Okay, yeah, I did grab both. I thought so. Now to fill out their decks. Just need to catch like 15 more. Actually, that is an interesting question. So, what does a mythic Pokemon require to fill out its decks? Oh, nice. So, number cut is actually capped at 1. So, see it use this, see it use this, see it use this, see it use this. Not too shabby, actually. No, that's good. That's how legendaries and mythics should be. So, cool. Okay, so that's done. Dump all this extra crap off here. Yeah, no, that's good design, especially since it was probably done manually, Darkrai. Alright, so let's keep leveling our happy Pokemon. You will be happy. We'll shove experience down your throat until you're happy. Fiona, you can go straight to the spa. Actually, oh, there it is. Manaphy, you can also go to the spa. And it looks like we're leveling Bronzor next. Well, there's MLP, there's Trek, there's Pokemon, there's the Extant. And that's it! Actually, Warcraft is another one. Legitimately. Yeah, but I've never caught one, and we can't breed one, so I don't have one Lotermon. would be my answer to you. Didn't I already... Yeah, sorry, I know the icons are small, but yeah, that's already a Blissey. I don't actually know, Jay Palmer. I've been a partner in Twitch for like, God, 6, 7 years. I don't know. Doesn't even say. It just says it's your anniversary. Okay. What does that mean? Does it mean anything? Is it like those plaques they give you? Thanks for working here for 3 years. Here's a watch. Thanks. Does this come with like any tangible reward? No. Okay, cool. Can I get back to work, please? Anyways, yeah, Happy Pie Day. Much more worthwhile thing to celebrate. Zootopia's... I don't know if I'd call Zootopia a setting, first of all, because it's just one movie. But, yeah. If we get down to the point of individual movies like that, then, yeah, we could get a few. What am I doing? Yeah, wow, we're down to just 2 quests left. Let's finish off these stupid wisps. So let's get our Spiritomb. So let me pull up the map. There we go. Okay. Let's make it evening. A free video editor. Whatever Mr. Red uses. I have gotten 0 unknown. Shadow Machine, does that count? Elixirs, I haven't really been seeking them out, but I also haven't seen any of them at all. Not that I would know, but pirating Adobe Premiere is more frustrating than it used to be. Possible, I'm sure. And no, I wouldn't know. I actually pay for my Adobe Premiere. Okay, so that's a trash burn. We actually want that. Yeah, collecting unknown might be one of those, I'm not gonna do it, you know, PFA, or PFR kind of a things. How many unknown are there? 28, I believe. No, I'm good, Shadow Machine. I'm good. Unless unknown are actually required for the catching everything requirement, in which case, let's just wait on that. Are they easy to catch? I don't know. Yes, it's definitely a troll. I am lying about my opinion. For no other reason than to troll you specifically, Renegade TV. You are that critical. I'm trying to think of a way to say it doesn't sound like an insult. Dragon Quest? No. Dragon Quest games are actually, this is going to sound strange, I would say are neither positive nor negative. Dragon Quest games, ironically, tend to be very, very down to earth. They tend to be both, for lack of a better way to put that. And so the focus tends to be a lot more on consequences and things, for lack of a better way to put it, making sense. You know, if something happens, Dragon Quest games tend to follow through on the consequences of that action. No, Jay Palmer. Having said that, there's usually some kind of world-ending threat, and they usually stop it, but that doesn't necessarily make something positive or negative. That's just, you know, continuing to exist. As plenty of settings can tell you, continuing to exist is not always a good thing. I was trying really hard not to go that route. I think Evo would love Dragon Quest because of the pun fu they employ on a regular basis. Here. Just gonna grab some free experience. You know, interestingly enough, I would say Mass Effect was overall a positively inclined setting. And then Mass Effect 3 came out. And that's not me digging into Mass Effect 3. I legitimately think Mass Effect 3 was a fundamental shift in the overall tone of the whole franchise. Now, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is a pretty good example of a specifically positive game. I mean, no spoilers, but the final stage is all I've got to say about that. Yeah, exactly, Blair Jamal. Like, as has been pointed out, which flavor of Crayola you prefer is up to you. But they're all bad to some extent or another. Just in different ways. I'm going to adjust this so I can see a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, Evo ran into the same thing the rest of us ran into in FF14. The early game sucked so hard she put the game down for several months. That's not a dig at FF14. That is a straight-up fact. I know so many people at this point who, you know, just reached a point where it's like, alright, I can't deal with this anymore. And just walked away from FF14 for a while. That's a good question, Lord Hermont. And Lord Hermont is correct, after all. I don't know anything about Warcraft lore, because this one time, while I was reading this one book, I accidentally misspoke about something, because there was something I was like, oh, that's new information, and then someone says, no, actually it was in the books. I was like, oh, you're right, that was in the books. And that means that I absolutely have no knowledge or understanding of Warcraft lore at all, and have no idea what I'm talking about. So you are, of course, correct, Lord Hermont. Yeah, exclamation mark block, or exclamation mark blocks, I believe. That's true. I was inconclusively incorrect. God, that person. They left like 4 or 5 comments, too. Like, oh my god, they don't know anything about Warcraft lore. It was hard to read them, too. Because it was one of those people who never bothered to learn, you know, how to type. I would absolutely say Warcraft is a more positive setting than FF14. 100% and without question. There's no rape in Warcraft. I'm just going to start with that. And at the very, very, very beginning of FF14, there's a quest. It's very early on. where there's a guy who was a merchant and was accusing one of the refugees in Ul'dah. This might start ringing some bells here. Of stealing from him, when of course obviously she did not. And this way. And the merchant said, don't worry, I'll let it go if you agree to serve me. I forget the wording, but the implication was extremely clear. That kind of thing is in FF14. Now, they never shove it into your face. They're actually pretty quiet about it. If you're paying attention, we actually got another version of that during Patchwalker. There was a bit during Zero's moment. She was talking about how in the past, one of the incidents in which she tried to stand up against several of the Memoriates, they said, you should back off. All we're interested in this town is wine and women. And given what we know of the Contra Memoria, and given what we know about how Memoriates operated, it was pretty clear what they meant by that. That kind of thing isn't in Warcraft. Warcraft has also always taken a, frankly, Pokemon take on war. It's very stylized. It's very non-realistic. It's very, how do I phrase this? Fantasy isn't quite the word I'm looking for. I mean, it is a fantasy, but less vulgar. I mean, war is an absolutely terrible, awful, horrible thing. Anybody with a functioning brain can tell you that. If the wars that happen in Warcraft were being portrayed in a more realistic fashion, it would be one of the most grim, dark settings that I've seen. But it isn't. Because, yes, sanitized, that's a good word. Because it's heavily sanitized. Now, that's part of the shtick. That's very, very much on purpose. In fact, I've seen interviews from Metzen who flat out said, yeah, I just want my setting where you can run around and have battles and you know, not worry about the horrific nightmare death traumas. For some people, that is a negative, and that's valid, of course, because preference exists. For me, that is a gargantuan positive. It is one of the biggest reasons why I like Warcraft as a setting. Having it be so sanitized, having it be so positive, is a wonderful break from the overwhelming majority of negative fiction that's out there. Because, yeah, Warcraft is not intended to be grimdark. Warcraft is not intended to be gritty, edgy realism. Well, I mean, in the interest of fairness, Warcraft is definitely a setting that's been getting better over time in lore. For more information on that, watch my Lorecraft series where I talk about how many long-term threats are solved bit by bit over time, over the course of the series. But no, I was talking more tonally in terms of theme and atmosphere. More of a real-life perspective than in-universe perspective. Agreed, Esmira Star. You can really tell when they were trying to get away from their, let's call it what it is, the edgy teenager phase of the writing. Where is this? Is it up? I think it's up. What do you want to bet? I've heard about that one, Von Falkenstein. I haven't played it, obviously, because I haven't played any of those mods. But I have heard about it. So it's somewhere on this ridge. It's okay, the old gods are a solved threat. We have confirmed the old gods actually did die. Something that people have been arguing about for literal years. Here? Aha! There it is. Whoa! In interviews about War Within, believe it or not, Jay Palmer. So really recently, like a couple months ago. Okay. Oh, like just a dozen or so acts. Not that often. Well, if you've seen the logos of the upcoming Warcraft expansion, Starcry, you can probably answer that for me. But I'll give you a hint. It's the one after War Within. The one that looks like the Void and is called Midnight. No, I think Lord Harrowmont was referring to that, actually. I like how you say that would be borrowing. Like, yeah, I'll pay you back. Just give me a few years. Sorry, I saw your question, Jay Palmer, and then I answered you in my head, as I often do. No. Now, I wouldn't say the Modern Warfares are... So, let me walk this back for a second. So, Modern Warfare 1 and 2 are pretty solidly negatives. But it's the kind of negativity I can deal with, since it's kind of done well and to good effect. The whole point... I talked about this during the review just last year, which of course you didn't watch, because you hate me. But the whole point of both games is that war sucks. And there's no, like, quick and easy victory. You can't just snap a finger and be like, alright, we killed the bad guy. Things are better. That's the whole thematic point of those games. And then there's Modern Warfare 3, which, I'm going to be honest, I don't have enough respect for to say whether it has any thematic core whatsoever. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. No, I did not. Hang on, Evo. I'm dealing with only a sliver of my screen, my chat right now. Let's make it nighttime. Man, those cinematics. What cinematics? Oh, it's raining. No, it's okay. I literally didn't see it in this case, Eva. I have failed you. Do I think some settings have a neutral outlook? Yeah, absolutely. I would actually go so far as to say that, percentage-wise, if we're counting all of fiction, most of them probably are neutral. At least as far as... I'm saying that wrong. Most fiction, percentage-wise, is probably neutral. Let me phrase it that way. Most franchises tend to lean towards negative, in my experience. Anything that actually expands past the point of a single movie, or a single book, or a single game. And again, that's kind of a cultural thing. Especially if it's from Poland. Anything Polish, just pure evil, instantly. Life sucks and then you die! Over here somewhere. How am I missing 5? Yeah, sorry, all of Eastern Europe. I don't mean to zoom in on Poland there. It's just Eastern Europe. To quote an old friend of mine, life is short, life is crap, and it will soon be over. Although I think she was Canadian, but whatever. There it is. Assassin's Creed has no idea what it wants to be as far as positivity or negativity. Having said that, it was well on its way towards being positive until it very, very quickly zoomed right into negative because of bad writing. And it was very specifically because of bad writing. Hi, Flame Ryuji. It's always nice to know that people actually watch those YouTube VODs. I get very, very, very little feedback on those, so thank you for manually giving me feedback so I know people actually watch those. But yeah, like, so for example, to go back to the Assassin's Creed thing for a moment. In the way the story was going originally, the general idea was that the Templars and the Assassins kind of traded off which one was dominant and ascendant. They then retconned that, I forget when, don't ask me, but they then retconned that to the idea that the Assassins have only ever been ascendant once during Ezio's time. The entire rest of human history, the Templars have been in charge. And that's pretty much the definition of a negative setting, right there. Yeah, don't remind me, Act. Every time I get another asshole comment on that, I get tempted to cancel those ruminations again. Okay, so I'm missing 3 wisps. How am I missing 3 wisps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're 16 and 17. '16 and 17 are not on this map, so we're going to have to manually figure out where 16 and 17 are. Okay, 16's up there, 17's up there. Okay. It's okay, we'll just change math. That'll make them into good guys. Will I watch on YouTube? I don't really watch YouTube. The most I tend to have YouTube up is when I have tiny, tiny snippets in my time. Usually while I'm doing something else. Like, say, organizing my inventory in Pokemon. Oop, that's the... Having said that, there are several history YouTubers I tend to follow, like History Matters, and Economate, which is a really good... It's the only really good economy YouTuber I've ever seen. That's an interesting question, Evo. But I think, and this is going to sound like a strange thing, I think your question's premise is invalid. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Don't Canadian me. Because I think most franchises in general lend towards bad writing. And that's why, that is regardless of the fact that they are positive or negative. I will use a specific example. Star Trek. I love Star Trek to death, because there's a lot of good in Star Trek. But, Star Trek is definitely an example of... Ah, there it is. It's definitely an example of how a lot of the positivity of the setting comes about more or less specifically because of the fact that they didn't think about it. In fact, I have an entire term for that. I call it underthought. Here's the funny thing. I'm not sure if the extant qualifies as underthought. That's an interesting statement. So yes, or rather, no, J. Palmer. Let me clarify that for a moment. Most people associate hope with hope fulfilled. So when you say, can a setting be hopeful, what you mean is, can a setting have hope fulfilled? I know that sounds like a strange way to phrase it, but it's an important distinction. Because having hope that is never fulfilled is actually arguably worse than having no hope at all. If you're just eternally chasing that carrot and can never actually reach it, that's awful. So, can a setting be negative and hopeful? Yes. Can a setting be negative and then have hope fulfilled? No. Game. Oh, I'm being targeted. Who am I being targeted by? Actually, yeah, Pillars of Snow. FF10 is a fantastic example of a setting which has hope, but is deliberately engineered in-universe to never fulfill that hope. To just sit there hopeful forever. Which is exactly as awful as it sounds. That's not even a spoiler. They say that pretty much right up front in that game. Waka, right in Besaid Isle. Someday sin will go away as long as we atone for our sins. And then he even questions it right there in his initial speech. Like, it's been taking a while. You know, it's been a minute. Let's empty our inventory really quick. Which, thankfully, we do not, Darkrai, because we aren't completely crazy. I mean, could you imagine? Yeah, give it a few millennia. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. No, that's right. Yeah, it's fine. Can it be a generally positive setting without being particularly hopeful? I would say yes. Hope is one of those weird things. We all consider hope to be a good thing, but actually hope's not good in and of itself. Hope is, in fact, bad hoping to be good. So, yeah, it'd be relatively easy to be positive without hope because things are already good. There you go. Boom. It's okay. Tidus didn't die for nothing. Never forget. Never forget. All right. God, just whatever. All over the place here. Let's start over here. Oh, absolutely, Jay Palmer. As we just mentioned, Assassin's Creed did exactly that, thanks to the writers changing directions and changing their minds 50,000 times. I might be exaggerating slightly, but honestly, only slightly. With good writing? What the hell is good writing? Is that allowed? It's here somewhere. Yeah, can you eat it? Let me forget number 9 there. Economate Act. It's a very, very small channel that nobody's ever heard of. Probably because they do actual economic papers rather than, you know, what most economy YouTubers do. Good morning, Ross. We were just talking about FF10. Without you! Here-ish, looks like. Oh, nice here. Hopefully it'll actually wake. Oh. I've had this really cheapo screen protector once, which didn't do anything. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. I want to go this way. It's a minor thing, but I kind of wish I had a mini-map or... the compass would be nice in this game. Which one, Ross? Not that I've probably heard of them, but I'm so curious. I have heard of them. Yeah, I don't blame them, though. The number of people I've seen leaving YouTube is slowly increasing. I honestly kind of hope it keeps increasing, as weird as that sounds. YouTube's always been an interesting job, but it's been getting a lot worse lately. By lately, I mean about 10 months at this point, give or take. And yes, I can almost definitively point to when they introduced shorts as the beginning of YouTube becoming really, really bad. Like, people were already sick of YouTube and making a living off of YouTube for years, and have been for years. It's why I transitioned off of YouTube, like, 6 years ago at this point. But it was at least tolerable until they started the push towards shorts and everything that has been changed about the algorithm and the search engine since then. Because, for those of you not aware, the search engine change is just really, really, really bad right now. Like, it's hard to even put into words just how bad the search engine is right now. And shorts, well, enough said about that nonsense. So, the search engine, the easiest way I can explain this without going into more depth, god damn it, stop that, is to say that the search engine stopped prioritizing being a search engine and started prioritizing being an algorithm engine. I think that is the simplest and easiest way to explain what happened. There are multitudinous but little things that it does to not give you what you're searching for, even if you search for something fairly specifically. Alright, that's ridiculous. Where's 13? Because I cannot seem to find 13. What's the difference? Okay, that's a really interesting question. It is inside. I was right. God damn it. And 9 was inside as well. I was right. So what's the difference? Well, let's say I want to search for something. Let's say I want to search for Trihexia, Kingdom Hearts. Just making up something random here. And that's because there is a Kingdom Hearts video that Trihexia did that I would like to see. Let's say it gives me some random video by Trihexia, which is not their Kingdom Hearts video, but it's the one that's most popular. Let's say that it gives me someone else's Kingdom Hearts video. Let's say it gives me another video that's like that. Let's say it gives me 3 other videos that have nothing to do with what I'm searching for whatsoever, but they're things that are popular right now. Yep, there it is. Like, it makes so much sense in my head. I wish I could just beam the knowledge over to you. Okay, so what they've been doing, and they've been pushing this really, really hard the last about 10 months at this point, is they're like, okay, so SciCloud, you like Mass Effect. Cool. And we also have these other 5 people who like Mass Effect. So we're going to lump all the Mass Effect likers into people who are in this particular demographic. Now, this particular demographic also happens to like guns. Just bear with me for a second. I'm making stuff up here. So the gun-liking demographic is the same demographic you are a part of. In other words, if you search for something, anything whatsoever, actually, it knows what demographic it thinks you are a part of, and then will try to push things that are part of that demographic, even if they have absolutely nothing to do with your search. Now, here's the difference. Because the way it used to work is you would have that kind of thing in your recommended feed, or if you did the exploration feature. But now, when you do a search, as in you are looking for something specific, now it'll give you those recommendations instead of what you're searching for. And that's the biggest distinction. That's the biggest variance. That's why I say the search engine is no longer a search engine. It is an algorithm engine. It is designed to plug the algorithm, not whatever it is you're actually looking for. It is, in my experience, as of this point, better to literally search for a YouTube video on Google rather than to use the in-site search engine. And even that isn't perfect. Now, granted, I'm going to now drift into pure personal opinion here. I wouldn't mind a recommended thing as long as it was over there in its bubble. You know what I mean? As long as there was a... How do I put this? So let's say I search for Mass Effect. And let's say I'm not getting the search results I want or whatever. Oh, hey. But I am in a mood to look for something that isn't necessarily the specific thing I'm looking for. So there's another tab or another toggle that I can flip that says, would you like recommendations in addition to search results? I click that, I get recommendations, I'm happy, they're happy, cool. But yes, both Google and YouTube are under Alphabet. Now, bigger YouTubers have a much harder time with what I'm talking about than I do, because I'm a dinky nobody nothing nobody cares about. But the actual big YouTubers have to deal with this thing, well, 2 things, actually. They have to deal with people straight up stealing their content, and I do mean just straight up stealing, thanks to the absolute mess that is re-uploads right now. And then they have to deal with reaction content, which is one step away from just re-uploading. Where is the stupid thing? Did I already get this one? I might have already gotten this one. I was trying to make a point of not getting any, so to not run into the exact issue I'm running into right now. But this looks like the room. It's not here. Anyways, so, for example, something that is a commonality right now is someone will search for something, and rather than getting what they're searching for, even very, very specifically, interesting, they will get, how do I... How do I interact with it? They'll get one of the re-uploaders or the reaction things instead of their actual video. Throw ball. Again? Okay. There, I've caught one unknown just for you, Shadow Machine. I mean, the line is obvious if you look at the extremes, admittedly, Wenlock. Like, for example, there are actual reaction contents out there where they just hit play. They don't say anything, they don't add anything, they don't actually react, they just let other people's content play while they happen to be sitting there. That's the worst kind of reaction content. That's the furthest extreme right there. At least in my opinion. Because some people would say that the worst extreme are the people, and by people I mean women, who sit there in a bikini saying nothing while watching a thing. In other words, you are there to watch them and or the content they're watching. The content being the excuse to watch the bikini. But that's easy. Anybody with a functioning brain can tell you that that's just straight up stealing content, and that's awful. It gets a little bit trickier, because obviously there is such a thing as legitimately reacting to people, and there's an actual market for that, for lack of a better put it. Because, yeah, sometimes they'll actually respond or talk or think or debate or whatever, but the watchword for me is actually very, very simple. If they add something to the content in question, then they are actually analyzing and providing something. If they're just, well, I'm going to put this as nicely as I can, reacting to it, then they're not. And it's also usually pretty obvious when someone is just reacting to content, because they're usually overreacting to the content. Exaggerative reactions and exaggerative expressions and exaggerative everything, because, oh my god, I can't believe such and such. Whoa! Not that I'm saying you can't get passionate about something, but you know what I mean. I do, actually, act. You even brought it up on camera, if you remember correctly. It's right here. Well, yeah, they need to, again, they need to add something to it. Anybody who's ever worked at a school before, and by worked at, I mean has ever attended a school before, should be able to, I know, trust me, the Star Trek lore run has really shown me how much I wish I could do more show lore runs. But I physically can't, so I've kind of walked away from that. Anyways, anybody who's ever attended a school, a good school, can tell you immediately what the difference is between reactionary content and actually, you know, adding something to it. Because the distinction is, did you add anything to it? No, I don't mean like, did you change around a couple of words? I don't mean, did you rearrange some of the findings? I mean, did you actually add anything to the work? If you didn't, that's plagiarism. That is the definition of plagiarism. It's actually one of the reasons why this whole reaction content thing is weird to me, because we have definitions solidly defined through years of rigorous testing and application of what plagiarism is, and most reaction content is plagiarism. 1-to-1. Copy-paste. Like, I would like to think, and maybe I'm wrong about this, that when I'm streaming a game, I'm adding something to the game in question. But imagine for a moment that this is not my playthrough of the game. Let's start with that. And I have it up on the screen. And I'm just sitting here watching this. Not saying anything. Not doing anything. That's plagiarism. Straight up. And yeah, no, you were absolutely correct, listener. The reason why so many people cannot take legal recourse in a situation that is so well defined legally is because it's considered a joke. Several streamers, back when the, what was it called? The thing where you try to get somebody killed by calling the cops on them thing was really taking off. A common preventative strategy, swatting, thank you, was to reach out to the cops ahead of time and say, hey, I'm a streamer, this is what I do. Thank you, Josh, I'll take that as a compliment. Quite a few streamers had a similar experience where they'd go to the cop and try to, you know, explain a few things. And then the cops would laugh at them, not take them seriously, and brush them off immediately. Because after all, what kind of nonsense is this? They were being treated... No, I have not, Spartan. Which is good, because I don't think I could take that. Well, I wasn't going to get into politics about cops, but the fact of the matter is, they weren't treating it as a real threat because streaming, YouTubing, isn't a real job. It's not something that's real. It's not something that's considered worth noting or worth bothering with. This is actually this is a thing that has actually been an issue in the legal system as well. There are several court cases that have been thrown out before they ever actually got in front of a judge because they were considered, I can't remember the term, but they were considered not worthy of time or attention. There's a legal term for that, which I can't think of right now. Frivolous, thank you. That's the word. They were considered frivolous lawsuits, or frivolous suits. I don't know why I said lawsuits. Anyways, thank you for coming to a TED Talk. I will admit I get a little bit angry about this whole topic, and I do apologize for that. But this is also sort of my job. In fact, this is actually my career at this point. So, it tends to irritate me a little bit, you know? Okay, yep. That's a nope. I'm not fighting an alpha Garchomp. Well, the good news is, people here in the States at least, there has been a very significant effort to clamp down on swatting. Probably because someone literally freaking died over it. Hello? Anything in here? Don't mind me, nose pass. Interesting. Oh, we're just gonna move on from that, I suppose. Wah! Oh, probably not. And as Ect pointed out, we definitely have a flooded courts system here in the States. See, part of the problem, and I'm not saying this should necessarily change, but it is definitely part of the problem, is that here in the States, anybody is allowed to bring anyone else to court for any reason. The logic behind that is that, you know, then the court system will determine, is this worth considering? Is it not? Give everybody their fair shake and make sure that nobody gets to abuse the system, blah, blah. That's the intent behind that method. Problem is, a lot of people bring a lot of people to court for a lot of reasons, and a whole lot of those reasons are not valid. And so you have a very, very, very cramped system. And that's before we get into the things about, well, criminal inequality and economic problems, which also lead to increased problems for courts. I mean, if they have the ability to revive fossils in the 1890s, we need to have a chat. Okay, hang on. So that's clearly 19. Where's 20? Aha! Okay. I mean, you've probably heard me say this before, Evo. Exactly, Dardra. I have had an uphill battle, which I've actually stopped fighting because I stopped caring, about convincing most of my biological family that I actually do, in fact, work for a living. A battle I have long since walked away from. That's actually a child act. A very unhappy child. Well, listen. And this is funny how wonderfully illogically logical this is. When my biological family were young, it was relatively easy to get a job, any job, and be able to buy a house and get set up and have a family and all that fun stuff, because the economic times of the 50s and the 60s, or excuse me, 70s, were just fundamentally different than they are now. So, when they see me knowing that I cannot afford a place of my own, and that I have to rely on the charity of others in order to be able to have a roof, clearly, I don't actually have a real job, and I need to career shift before I end up homeless again. And that's my favorite part, is that it's this wonderful illogic combined with legitimate, like, care. It's like, oh, we're just worried about you. We're just so concerned about how much you are ruining your own life. Ooh, salt. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that's right, that's right. Okay, jeez. Listen, we know you're a struggling artist. I've played Persona 5. I know how this works, Evo. But that is one of the things that almost irritates me. I almost wish my biological family were actually evil people. It would be easier. You know? You remember Barbaricia's father, right? No spoilers, but we just streamed that a week ago, right? I wish that was my dad, because that would be like, yeah, okay. Done and done. Bye. Probably wouldn't lodge an axe in his head. That's something I would probably avoid. But, point remaining. Yeah, metaphorically, axe to the face, moving on. It would be very cathartic. I'm not going to lie to you. I would enjoy that moment more than I should. But no. No, take the... Okay, fine, whatever. But no, instead it's being said from a very, very misguided form of caring. It's people who are like, oh, you poor unfortunate soul. You're so misguided. You're so in need of our superior reasoning and understanding because we're the adults. Yeah, it's wonderfully patronizing. Looks like there and right here. I can see it. Yeah, no, exactly, Evo. It's like, could you just be evil instead? Hang on. Let me figure out if I'm an adult really quick here. Ugh! Okay. Adulthood confirmed. Every time I hear someone who actually has legitimately supporting, loving parents, that makes me smile. That's a good thing. We need more of that in life. I admit, everyone in my my inner circle does not enjoy that luxury, including myself, obviously. Okay, straight west. And then, so there's that one in the ravine, and then down here, it looks like. If we're counting the kiddos, then I would say all three of them have good adults, or good parents, excuse me. But I wasn't counting them because I was thinking of people my age. I mean, it's a very normal human thing. When something is really, really normal for you, it's rare that you tend to question it, right? Well, yeah, that's that... I hate to use this word. That's that boomer mentality again. Like, I'm sorry to speak in economics for a second, but the world is just such a fundamentally different place than it was 40 years ago. When my dad moved to Sacramento in order to take his engineering job, a job which he relatively made less money than I do now, he immediately bought a house when he moved there. Because he could. Because that was just normal. Like, hey, here's my job, here's my paperwork, I'd like a mortgage, sure thing, here you go. Down payment of $5 grand and we move on. That's just not how that works anymore. Ah, shoot, it's becoming daylight. Oh, where is this thing? Oh, I'm one south. Like, I'm fixating on the housing thing a bit because it's such an easy and objective thing to talk about how different it is compared to how it was, you know, again, 40 years ago. But there's other examples of that, too. Like, this is debatable and variable, but we arguably don't eat as well as our parents did because food is the kind of thing that just isn't at the same level of quality and availability that it used to be. Because it's the boomer generation. I actually forget the specifics. Yeah, exactly. I forget the specifics, so please forgive me. So everything I'm about to say, a grain of salt. Where the hell is this? Looks like it's on the... Oh, it's further west? But it boils down to there was a period of time which, thanks to several factors, people had lots and lots of babies. That's the boom, the baby boomers. And again, I forget all of the factors right now, so forgive me. I'd have to go Google it, and I don't want to pause the stream. You can look it up on your own. But that's why it's called that. That's the boomer mentality, because that generation tends to be the type of people who tend to have that type of mentality. No, we're not hitting the stream breaks, Jay Palmer. Although I may have to anyways, because I'm having trouble finding this stupid wisp. Well, yeah, I mean, here in the States at least, not sure about other countries, but here in the States, obviously everywhere was dealing with the Great Depression. The Great Depression was a worldwide phenomenon, but in the States, the economy completely re-kickstarted itself thanks to the war. As a direct result of that, for the first time in generations, a lot of people who had grown up living with rationing and living with uncertainty about housing and food and survival, all of a sudden were doing fine. In fact, they were doing great. And yeah, it was an absolute huge economic boon. So of course, lots of people are more willing to have children when times are good. That's normal. That's human behavior, and that goes back millennia. Where the hell is this stupid wisp? All right, this is Wisp 14. Where the hell is Wisp 14? I'm gonna laugh if I've already gotten it. It's just right there. Actually, yeah. The population rate, or more accurately, the rate of new children being born has actually gone down in recent years because economic times are not great. Again, that's normal. It is very, very human and very easy to understand why you'd want to have children when things are good and why you wouldn't when things are bad. Duh, right? Yeah, I could really go off on that era economically, Spartan. Like, I could really go off on that era economically, because... And yeah, as someone pointed out in chat, I can't see who, because I can't see most of my screen right now. The infrastructure of the United States didn't take it in the pants like most of Europe did, for example. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna change that sentence. The United States didn't take it in the pants infrastructure-wise as much as the rest of the world did. Let's just lay that down there. I mean, Japan. I'm just gonna stop right there. Right there. Japan. Yeah, Egypt, actually. They didn't have fun. Morocco didn't have a lot of fun with that. China. Oh, my God, China. But that's sort of my point. It's not one thing. It's everything. The Japanese economic miracle is called that for a reason, Yura. Here somewhere. The problem is, doing this at daytime, I can only see them when I'm like a foot in front of them. Yeah, I was actually talking to a friend of mine recently about deflation. And I'll never forget the beginning of the conversation, which boiled down to, deflation exists? What was the Japanese miracle? You know, people have spent their entire career studying just the Japanese miracle, which is my way of saying that it's such a complex topic that anything I tell you about it is simply not going to be a sufficient overview. So if you really want to look into it, I suggest you really look into it. The super brief overview summary is that Japan went from post-World War II Japan into the 80s Japan. And that's kind of insane. By several metrics, their economy should have just absolutely crumbled. And it was actually considered that they might be a, what's that called? Spartan, give me the terminology. It's a dependent state, or dependency state, or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but whatever, you get the point. That the state, that the nation would have effectively stopped existing as a nation. And it didn't. That got turned around. What, Heishi? Oh, jeez. Okay, so we're just missing this one over here, wherever it is. I've probably seen it like 3 times, and I'm not recognizing it. It's just on the ground. I saw a screenshot. What time is it? And this is way away from anywhere where I could change the time of day, too. Germany's another interesting case. And again, one of those things which I couldn't possibly give a satisfactory summary of. Don't forget, in addition to Germany having to turn around from World War II, they also had to turn it around from merging East and West Germany, which was a pretty big deal. Okay, so it's right freaking there. Am I in the right spot? I've got to be in the right spot. I am in the right spot. Yeah. It's like right actually behind me, it looks like. Stop trying to kill me. I'm just trying to get a wisp. Please. If anybody sees the wisp, feel free to be like, there's the wisp. Not that anybody's actually watching the stream at this point. Yeah, no, I of course have an outsider's perspective, but everyone I know who is Korean, and I actually know a few Korean people, pretty universally agrees that a reunification of the Koreas is just not happening. And even if it did, it would probably take generations for it to actually, you know, become a positive thing. Maybe. It's up here. Nope. Okay. Oh, there's the time of day. Yeah, there's a lot of cultural stuff. That's just... I wouldn't mind visiting North Korea if I had the power of the Q. Which is roughly how much power I would need in order to be willing to accept such a thing. But it would be fascinating to really see how it is up front, personal, and for myself. Well, not just morbid curiosity, because if I had the power of the Q, I could probably help the situation. So it's kind of a catch-22. The only circumstance in which I'd visit would be the only circumstance that could exist that I could actually help. No, no. As much fun as it is to go loud, Cycloud, it's almost always better to go quiet. Okay. This is just... I'm just gonna go here. It's gonna take too long. Let's make it nighttime. Sure they do, J. Palmer. They have the gun, which they have on them. And the bodyguards, which they hired to protect themselves. Oh, and the people they bribed, who may or may not accept using that bribe. Well, that's another one of those reasons why it would be interesting to actually see what it's like in North Korea. It's another benefit of the power of the queue. You can actually find out why something is, rather than speculate why something is. Okay, no, I already have those. Sorry. Jesus Christ! Bragon. Q. Spartan. Infinite power. I'm just gonna lay that out. Infinite power. Would I rather live in China or North Korea? Which one will kill me quicker? No, not torture me to death. Kill me. Just straight up shoot me in the head. North Korea. Done. Let's do it. Where's this freaking wisp? It's not here. It's nighttime. It's not here. Where's this wisp? Alright, let's get some height. You know, I should see how much my old apartment's going for. Assuming they're even renting right now. That's not a guarantee, given how their management system was going. Hey, there's that Magnezone again. Okay, hold on. This is a little frustrating. There it is. Alright, how are you doing? Let's see. Oh, they are renting right. They're renting for $1,300 a month for a one-bedroom. Less than that by about half, J. Palmer. Little over half. Yeah, I was still paying in the 700s per month range. It was going up every year, because that's how that works. Yeah, if you remember, they wanted to jump it up by about 500 a month. Like, because of the whole scam they were pulling. They were like, hey, we're not going to allow you to renew. Okay, we're going to give you a new lease, and the rent is going up by 500 a month. That was the primary thrust of their scam. So, yeah, I don't live in the city. I don't live in a fancy country or state. Country. Might as well be a country. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. No, that's pretty much exactly the problem. 5. That's why I'm now living with my sister, because rent in general has risen up so hard and so fast that I don't know what else to add to that, honestly. That it is just too expensive to live. Like, I think I mentioned this on camera. One of the things I had gotten to the point of doing was checking everywhere for rent. Everywhere in the whole country. Just as long as it had access to internet. To find someplace that was affordable to live. I didn't find anywhere. Which state would I like to live in the most? Under what circumstances? Era. Yeah, we are the lazy and spoiled generation. Jesus Christ, Ross. No, I'm not, Dark Ran. At this point, I'm like almost certain it's not the one I'm missing, because it kind of can't be. I have simply been too thorough. That means at some point in the past, I would have had to have picked it up. Hang on. And when I was deliberately trying not to do that, specifically to avoid the exact problem I'm in right now. Which means I have 19. Look, I'm missing 1. Now, we never did get the one inside the cave. I assumed that I got this one last time on accident. Let's challenge that, because this is the only one I didn't get this time around. Let's follow left wall for a minute. So that's where the unknown was. Correct, Act. 108 or 107, excuse me. You know what? I would agree with that, Blue Hero. Although, if I can add a personal touch, and admittedly, I'm speaking as someone who currently cannot afford to live on his own, and has literally been homeless before. But I kind of take a bit of personal umbrage towards the real estate industry, because it's monetizing the ability to survive. And I really don't actually know what else to add to that. I checked here. Hey, Silvercom. Hope your day is going well. Oh, for God's sakes. Of course, when I come at it from this angle, I see it immediately. If you remember, I went through this exact room the other way last time. Alright, time to kill Lord Harriman. No, I'm joking. I suppose you could argue that, Lord Harriman. And that, and I don't want to get political, but I think that gets down a little bit into philosophy. Because what the question you just unintentionally asked really boils down to is, do human beings have a right to survive? To exist, actually, might be a better word there. Because, and I'm going to say this as bluntly as I can, under the system we currently exist in, we do not. Okay, last zone. Remind me to look for a female snore runt while we're here. Double checking something. Yeah, the no free handouts mentality is certainly an interesting one. And I think that's all I will say about that for now. Yeah, no, I feel you, Yura. If it makes you feel any better, Guild Wars 2 questing is pretty weird, too. If you remember, because you play Guild Wars 2. Words. Let's do this really quick. And I do apologize for drifting into polemic topics a little bit. In my defense, I'm running around getting wisps. What do you want from me? Oh, yeah, no, I absolutely will attest, now this is purely anecdotal, that it was beaten into me excessively and repeatedly that people who are homeless are lazy, people who don't have jobs are lazy, people who are not contributing to the economy are lazy, and lazy people do not deserve to survive. Wait, are we that close to the next Steam sale? Oh, nice. I need to check a few things. Speaking as someone who is extraordinarily not lazy, I fundamentally disagree with that. Like, again, philosophically disagree with that. But I should probably mention that that is not a United States mentality. There are plenty of countries that have that problem. How many people have I met who are actually lazy? Oh, gosh. Two. And both were professionals. Both were coworkers. Oh, God, that's a hard map to read. Were they programmers? Actually, yeah. Net programmers, but programmers. It still counts. You want to hear one of the most interesting quotes I ever heard? This is kind of tangentially related and trying to shift topics slightly. Pain makes you lazy. Now, if I have to explain that, I can. But speaking as someone who has suffered from severe pain in his life, I agree with the intent of the statement completely. See, it's kind of a joke, but the point is, if you are in pain, you are less likely to do things. And so you don't do things. You don't do the exercise you would have otherwise done. You don't get out and about like you normally would. You don't have activities because it hurts too much. Yeah, you're very demotivated because it hurts. All the time. And yeah, as Savicom just alluded to, pain is a thing that gets fed by not taking care of yourself. And pain makes you less likely to take care of yourself. It sucks. It's why systemic pain and, I can't remember what it's called, pain, are such terrible, terrible things. It's probably on that platform right over there. Yeah, so I have a bit of a tennis elbow problem. It's the kind of thing that I will have to go to a doctor for at this point. I don't have the money to go for a doctor, so I just live with it. But the problem is, I have had to stop doing most of my upper body exercises because I can't anymore. Like, I can't do curls, for God's sakes. I can't lift weights anymore. Looks like... where is that? Looks like it's right at the tip here. Chronic, that was what I was trying to think of. Chronic pain. Other than my elbow, no, Act. It's okay, I've got plenty of other exercises I can do. It's just... I like weightlifting. It's a stress reliever, and it's something that makes me feel like I'm actually accomplishing something. Plus, I've always been proud of how strong my upper body strength is. And that's going to now... This is a very recent development. That's going to just slowly go away now. Because I can't do that anymore. Do I have any regrets about the sinus surgery? No. I will say it's kind of frustrating that there is apparently a second surgery I didn't even know existed that I will need to fully, really be good on breathing. A second surgery I will almost assuredly never get. But I am, I've never regretted the fact that I can breathe. Even just the change to my sleeping habits alone was worth it. Oh, it was pretty bad for about a week after, Yura. I'm not going to lie to you. And in fact, the first couple of days after were absolutely hell. Still worth it. Oh, it's right there. I'm going to go see it. So I had a deviated septum. A severely deviated septum. I've kind of told the whole story before, but to truncate it severely, the doctor in question was shocked at how bad my septum was. I was getting an absolutely minuscule trickle amount of air. And that was just my life. I was just living with that, and had been since I was a kid. Thanks, Giga. Thanks. Hi, Giga. I wouldn't say I was afraid, but I was curious if that was going to happen, yeah. However, everyone, which is you all, has told me is that, no, my voice is the same as it always has been. No! Target the frost last game. What is wrong with you? Whatever. No, yeah, apparently it's my anniversary of being a partner. Shrugged. I have no idea what they're on about. So, I got into this habit and cycle, Blue Hero, depending on if I was really pushing or not. If I'm just doing stretches, it's easy. I just hold my breath while I'm doing my reps. Now, it's past tense, obviously. I don't have to do that anymore. And female. Oop. Perfect. Ooh. Let's go. Here, it looks like. Somewhere up here. The other thing I used to do when I was actually pushing, when I was actually trying to accomplish gains, when it comes to exercise, is I would exercise a whole bunch, not be able to breathe, have some issues, and then throw up, and then I'd go back to exercising. I would like the idea of the Pokemon in the world being a little bit more dynamic with each other, yes. What I'm doing right now is not what I would consider fun. And I think I will give a negative for the Spiritomb quest, because this is a little bit silly. As weird as that may sound, that still puts this ahead of the pack in terms of side quests in RPGs. 2 negatives for side quests is pretty good, sadly enough. Listen, there's a mountain there. I can climb it. I hope you like it, Bragwin. I won't blame you if you don't. Unlike some people. But, I mean, the mountain looks fine. The biggest thing that bothers me is the lighting effect, which has been bothering me the whole game. I admittedly don't know what you want from me at this point, Act. I've already agreed with you. I'm not giving it more negatives. We're capped on negatives for the visuals. I've simply played too many games that look too much worse than this, and I have too much precedence for too many games that look too much worse than this to ding this any further than I already have. Now that is an interesting question, Blade Chaval. Do me a favor and go watch the Secret of the Stars highlight reel. It's okay. You'll see what I'm talking about quite literally in the first 30 seconds. Also Devil May Cry 2, while we're on the subject. Which actually is a PS2 game, and actually looks like one. In all the wrong ways. Let's see. Let's go up. That is always the question, Blade Turball. It has been mentioned many times as a criticism of my method of reviewing, that if I don't have an issue with a particular quest or whatever, that I'm unlikely to ding it unless someone else brings it up. And that's true. There's no defense against that. There's no argument to be made there. It is absolutely correct that if I don't have an issue with something, then I don't ding something because I didn't have an issue with something. Yeah, like, I don't know, like 7 years ago, Baron? Something like that. I don't know why that's there. Don't ask me. As with so many things about the review system we have, a lot of it is just trying to be as accurate as possible without, you know, how do I explain this? While acknowledging that I cannot be as accurate as possible. It is one of the many benefits of having chat there. The other, of course, is entertainment. I mean, Evo alone is just better than any TV show, I'm just saying. And I keep breaking around instead of subscribing to Pornhub, so that works out too. God, screw that. I know what you're referencing, Flame Ryujian. Yeah, screw that right in the ear. It's interesting you say that because one of the things I like most, and perhaps this is my fault for not demonstrating this properly, for deciding not to read everything out loud, is how much the secondary quests have been adding to the story of the game. In fact, so far it's been some of the best story in the game. Now daytime. Yay. Cool. Can I give examples? Sure. Of course I can't give examples. No, I cannot give examples. Where is 19? It's down, isn't it? What do you want to bet it's down? Hang on. No, Evo. I do not. I think the moment someone has called you lazy, they've already made up their mind on the matter. And their opinion has stopped being worth listening to. There was a side quest where we had to bring the finished Pokédex entry for a Ghastly to a gentleman. Which is a fun quest gameplay-wise, but also is an interesting quest story-wise. The whole point was that the man, who was from the previous generation, was still scared of Pokemon in general. Not just Ghastlies, just in general. And he was so scared of Pokemon that he didn't actually want to engage with them. But his son did, because the next generation was starting to get over the bias against Pokemon. There you go. There's an example. There's been a decent amount of stuff like that in the secondary quests. And it's, like I said, it's been one of the better story aspects of the game. My opinion. Trying to think of another really good example. Like this quest we're doing right now is a really bad example of a side quest. This is not great. And yeah, I actually enjoy the fact that a lot of these side quests, you know, the good ones, not the one we're doing right now, have been about filling out the decks or bringing back a specific Pokemon for someone to interact with personally, so they can see it for themselves or see your data on it. Trying to remember which quest it was. There was one where it was a fill out the decks kind of a side quest. Excuse me. And after I filled it out, the person was reading. It was like, oh, they like to eat such and such. I like to eat such and such. And it was such a minor, stupid thing. But the idea was, because of that commonality, they stopped seeing the Pokemon as monsters. And instead were like, oh, they're just, they can live and eat and like things. And maybe I don't hate them anymore. Yeah, stuff like that, right? There's been a lot of little details like that, which I have actually really been appreciating. As I go. Looks like those are both inside. I'm not even sure it'll let me in the temple right now, but we'll try it. Why not? Why not? You never know. Yeah, this looks like a no. Okay, well, we'll walk away from that for now. Well, we'll get everything else, so we only need the 2. I remember that one. Same Ryuji, and yeah. As much as I'd love to jump to my death, I would. Oh, man. So great if I could jump to my death right now. In the game, obviously. In the game. No, fly is interesting in this one because they gave us fast travel right out of the gate. But they haven't given us the ability to fly. That's kind of in congruence with how Sword and Shield worked, where you got the ability to fast travel, fly, really, really early on. The wall, please. Thank you. But yeah, we do not have a flying Pokemon, which I admittedly don't even know exists. I just presume exists. Baron's like, I will spoil everything. As is Baron's wont. They call him the Poke Spoiler. Battle Lines was such a weird episode when I went through it. I'm not saying it's good or bad, it was just weird. As I commented in the video, it struck me as off how much I thought of it as being this really big, significant episode. It wasn't. It was just like, yep, okay. Doubly weird. Because Kai Opaka has such a total absence of presence in the franchise. Her removal is actually kind of critical because it allows for Kai Wynn and all of that to show up. But she herself is kind of totally irrelevant to everything. Thank you, Love Officer. My sister picked this out for me. Just seeing if there's anything new here. While we're here. Yeah, sorry, Deep Space Nine, Jake Palmer. I'm trying to catch one of everything. I am not filling out the Pokedex, and I am certainly not 100%ing the Pokedex. Pikachu or a Cypher. I don't need either of those. Not seeing anything new so far. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I mean, frankly, core combat's actually more than 3 positives in this one, but the difference is that those other positives go in other aspects of game design, not just the combat itself. Yeah, I think I'm going to give up. I'm not seeing anything new here. There's just an Espeon. Have an Espeon, thanks. Oh, well. No! I was being chased by kisses. Ducat feels a lot more like Kira's nemesis than Cisco's, in my opinion. He is the direct nemesis to her backstory in more ways than one, and he fixates on her quite a bit for a huge portion of his screen time. The only time he doesn't... Oh God, hang on, I'm blind all of a sudden. The only time he doesn't is when he has changed into a new character. Actually, I was going to say either Wayun or the female changeling is Cisco's. And I know you're saying, but the female changeling is Odo's. Yeah. But there's a lot of direct parallels between the female changeling and Cisco as well. But I will easily grant that Wayun works a little bit better for Cisco. No, Eddington... Eddington is one of those cases where we were being told that Eddington is Cisco's rival without actually earning it. I never felt for so much as 1 second that Eddington was actually Cisco's rival. And that's never really changed. Cisco took it personally because he was written to take it personally. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not earned, exactly. So let me explain Wayun. Cisco is very much a father to his men type of leader. He's very much in the trenches himself. Siege of AR-558 is a good example of that. He could not bring himself to leave the men there to suffer on their own and to die for his commands without him deciding to stay there and suffer with them. So he did. He cares so much about the individuals under his command that it bothers him when anything goes wrong with any of them. By contrast, Wayun will casually and effortlessly throw away lives by the thousands, millions, or in some cases billions, if he thinks it will accomplish his objective, because he has a total lack of empathy, which is really what we just described as Cisco's trait is at its fundamental core. Oh yeah, while we're here, I keep forgetting to do this. And yeah, in the pale moonlight, the whole motivation for that was his desire to stop seeing his people die. stop seeing the losses board go up. Whereas Weiyun would never even conceive of the idea of doing something like that. Weiyun, I think, is best described by a single scene. There's a lot of scenes that could really personify Weiyun, but for me, it's the one where he's trying to tell if Zial's art is good, because he doesn't have a sense of aesthetics, because he wasn't built with one. In that scene, he immediately laments the fact that he's lacking that feature, and then promptly walks right over it because, of course, he doesn't need it, because his gods have deemed that he does not need it. Then he talks about how they're going to execute Ram, and as Kira, who is very upset at the death of a friend, is leaving the room, he says, hang on, do you think this would look better if it was blue? That's Weiyun right there. It really is just a Tuesday for him. He does not care. Anyways, that's why I say Weiyun is the true nemesis, opposite rival, whatever, of Cisco. Can someone do me a favor? Is there another evolution for Lopunny or Bronzong? I actually don't remember. I don't want to look right now. Most disliked Pokemon. Unknowns. Okay, where the hell is 13? Let's actually come back to 13. Let's go get the two. I think I know where they are. Then we'll come back to 13. There's also several ugly Pokemon that I'm not a fan of, like Bibarel. Or the one that looks like it's wearing hot pants, which I can't remember the name of right now. Scraggy is the one. Or, frankly, a lot of the legendaries, which just kind of get a little bit... Like, I will admit, and this is absolutely not a nostalgia thing, most of my favorite legendaries tend to be more early on in the series. But you know me, I tend to not like over-designed things in general. Picard's biggest nemesis. Coherent writing. No, that's Janeway's biggest nemesis. I mean, it's the Borg. It is the Borg. I could talk at length for why it's the Borg, but it's the Borg. Now, having said that, there is an argument to be made for Q, and the argument's actually really, really basic. The argument boils down to the fact that Q had more screen time than the Borg. At least as far as is relevant to Picard. Remember, the Borg actually got seen more on Voyager than they did in TNG and the movies. In fact, if we actually tally it up... Who, Jay Palmer? If we actually tally it up, we've got Best of Both Worlds, 1 and 2. Family. And then we skip forward a ways to Iborg. And then we skip forward to First Contact. And that's honestly kind of it. Now, I stand by my statement. Thematically and personally, the Borg are Picard's nemesis, but you can see how rarely they hit that button. For whatever reason. Gee, I haven't given that negative yet, Act. I thought I gave that negative days ago. Yeah, no, the bloom's terrible. The bloom's been terrible since day one. I've never trusted Klingons. I never will. I'll never forgive them for the death of my boy. Janeway's nemesis is consistent writing. I'm not even really being facetious or joking. The biggest problem with Janeway is the fact that the writers cannot decide who the hell Janeway is. Did you not? Like, I'm busy right now. Hey, you. Hey. Oh, I'm in a Pokemon. Well, how do I get out of Pokemon? There we go. Yeah, let me hit the pause button so I can stop being in a Pokemon. That's weird. Okay, that's a new problem. Okay, are you fixed? Cool. No, they wanted Silic to be the big threat. They did not succeed at that. See, I don't think Archer actually had a nemesis. But they probably wanted... So they wanted it to be Silic, and they wanted it to be the Temporal Cold War in general. And also... Future Guy. And I'm not going to explain who Future Guy is, because that is actually a colossal spoiler. But they definitely wanted that, and they failed at all of it. So then they settled for Archer having a rival character, which actually worked a lot better, because he's played by Jeffrey Combs. It's actually pretty solid. It's one of the better starter types I've seen, Act. Okay, so Spartan just gave away the massive spoiler that I was avoiding saying. Pro tip! If I specifically don't say something because I'm avoiding spoilers, it is because, and hear me out for a second, I'm avoiding spoilers. So I need 10, 11, and 13. No, I have not, Act. Yeah, but I didn't say the spoilers part. There it is. Hang on, Nithrius. I didn't actually see a sub from you. Which means you're clearly lying to me. Why would you do this, Nithrius? You were at my daughter's wedding! I trusted you. Further northwest of this. Brunt's biggest nemesis is the Ferengi as a people. Sorry. Quark's biggest nemesis is the Ferengi as a people. Have I gotten... I might have actually gotten this one, because I remember this one. That one's down here. Well, we'll put a pin in this one. Where's the other one? 13. I really don't see a sub from you, Nithrius. That's strange. You know your favorite? Could you refresh on the chat, please, Nithrius? Just for my sake. Worf's is kind of more esoteric. His discommendation is absolutely his nemesis. But, like, that's kind of a thing with himself, his personal sense of honor, the nature of how the Klingon system works, the nature of Klingon culture and politics. Like, what exactly you want to focus in on there as the nemesis is up to you. But either way, it all boils down to that discommendation. Welcome back, Tech. Aha! There it is, Nithrius. Thank you. I appreciate it when you do that, ignoring the obvious fact that it makes it easier for me to keep track of because of paperwork. It also helps prove that you're not lying to me. And I know what you're thinking. I would never lie. Probably not. But I tend to prefer it if people put that there rather than not. Ugh. A whole lot of our show operates on the honor system already. What really frustrates me is Twitch, which is the actual problem here. Right? Like, why do you have to... If you actually subbed, the sub went through. Money spent, money received. But nothing anywhere indicates that to me, unless you hit that button, which is an optional extra step on top of subbing. Why? At the very least, give me the tool to see a sub come in, regardless of whether or not you hit that stupid button. Like, you don't have to spam chat with it. That could be like an optional thing. Like, hey, I subbed. But, like, allow me to see something privately that says a sub came in, right? Because otherwise, I have no knowledge that that sub even exists. It's really frustrating. Anyways, thank you, Nithrius. I do appreciate you. Felseal Arbor's Mark, Pixel Remasters, Pokemon Violet. That is inconsistent and doesn't always work correctly, Sub-Zero. So, for example, sometimes someone who is not actually a current subscriber will have that icon. Sometimes it'll take a while for the icon to show up. Sometimes it'll show up and then go away. Sometimes it will... Whoop, 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 whoop. Don't climb the tree, Sneasel. Sometimes it won't show up for days after they've subbed. Like, I've had people reach out to me, be like, look, no, here's evidence. They'll private message me. Like, here's evidence that I have actually subbed. I don't know why the icon isn't showing up. And it's like, it's okay, I trust you. So I try not to use that icon as an indicative because Twitch is made with hopes and dreams. So the only one I'm missing is this underground one. Oh, actually, I didn't even know that. So Von Falkenstein says you can also choose not to show one. That's even more frustrating. This is so unclear. In the icy caverns below. Sure, that's helpful. Let's try to do this. So it looks like it is... Of course, they're doing it at this level because they're dumb. Looks like it's under the L at the O. So it's like right there. We've got one wisp left to get for the moment. And then we'll do other things. I mean, yeah, Blue Hero. It is, if we're being honest with ourselves, a coincidence that I am capable of making a living by doing something like this, and people like me, because, let's be real, Twitch was not designed... Wrong way to phrase it. Twitch is not geared towards people like me. Let's put it that way. See, that's what I like about you, Evo. Your professionalism. Oh no, I'm very fortunate. It actually irritates me every now and again how fortunate I am. Because I don't live what I would consider to be a particularly good life. And I'm fortunate. There it is. What's that? is that? I don't think I have one of these. Anyways, we're now done with wisps, basically ever. I know I will be negative for this. Yeah, I think it's pretty bad, Evo. I've seen worse, though. Which I suppose isn't saying much at this point, but it's still true. After all, I've seen Starfield water, which, if you remember, doesn't even acknowledge that we exist. Okay. So, Neil. What am I in combat with? What am I in combat with? Normal ghost is certainly an interesting combo. What am I in combat with? Okay. Went up. Primordial goo. That's where the rest of the game came from. It kind of oozed its way. Okay, so let's do a little sorting. So if we get, if we bring in the Zoroark, oh my god, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna figure out how to pronounce it. If we bring in the Z Pokemon, we're going to have to lose a Pokemon. Gotta put you in there. Bronzong is done. Unknown are technically done. That I can do right now. There's our Zorua. Hang on. Whoops. God dang it. I mean, speaking as someone who has, to some extent or another, enjoyed every BRPG from Morrowind onwards, yeah, Starfield was a bit of a smack in the face for me. Flame Ryuji. Where's my actual team? Where are you? There you are. I could lose the Crobat. It is a Pokemon I've used many times, and that would keep our trend of using just new Pokemon. It is a Crobat. It would also mean we'd lose our Flyer. In fact, we'd lose Flying, Bug, Poison. He also has Bite. Like, Crobat's just amazing. It's a really, really good Pokemon in addition to being my favorite. But it is a Pokemon I've used before. But then again, so is Garchomp. For those of you not aware, Garchomp has pretty solid speed. He also has a 9 effort value on speed, and he's at 189 speed. Pretty solid, right? Crobat is at 266 speed. Obviously, Giga Pudding's just in. I've never used a Sliggoo before. Hey, Nighthawk. What's funny is Crobat has pretty solid attack, too. 201 is not exactly low attack value. Hey, Umbral Magnus. Okay, hang on. Whoops. Let's look. Stop doing that. Zorua. Of course you can, Evo. Just double checking. Yep, it's just a straight up level. Double checking this one. No, not yet, Blade of All. And no, Pika, for obvious reasons. Dawnstone. I think I have a Dawnstone, like, on me. I could name an Eevee Evo, but which Eevee would I name Evo? Oh, I already got a female. That's... whatever. See you around, J. Palmer. Okay, so do I have any... what stones do I have right now? That's the wrong thing. I need this thing. If any. I have fire, water, shiny, dusk. And that's it. So I don't actually have a Dawnstone right now. No, J. Palmer. No. Nowhere close. Ignoring the fact that obviously we have to finish this, I am taking a much-needed health break. An actual break, not a work break, after I finish this. Something I admittedly very much do not want to do. But... reality. Is it nighttime? It is nighttime. So, hypothetically... oh, I don't have it anymore. What's really funny is the level of fatigue I have been experiencing over the last couple of weeks has actually started to go away. So maybe I don't need to take that much of a break. It'll be fine. I thought it was at night. Hang on. Sure, hang on, Act. Let's just... oh, God, it burns! It burns! Ah! No, it doesn't do anything. You can't even stand on it. Hang on. I need the Gen 8 Dex. There we go. It is Razor Claw at day. What do you know? If she comes down today, I will make it a point to mention it to her, assuming I remember to go at it. Alright, so... I need a Dusk Stone, a Dawn Stone, I think. And... alright, hang on. We're going to do a little bit more cleanup here, because I feel like it. You know, you keep asking me that, Pika, and I haven't decided yet, and that really is going to be the answer for some time. Honestly, I would say that you're probably right, Ryuji. So, part of the problem is that I got really, really smashed in the face with a pretty bad sickness during the Starfield run, if you remember. So that probably was the start of the fatigue. And then I was playing Starfield, which absolutely contributed to the fatigue. Because Starfield was a dragging game. Like, it just got its hooks into me and just dragged me down. I don't know how else to explain it. It was the most unique experience I've felt playing a game. I've played worse games than Starfield, but I've never played a game that just made me want to die. Like, the same way that Starfield did. It was very unique. Then, allergies hit me in the face, and that's kind of what I'm still currently dealing with. So, I need to do this. I need to go here. So I'm trying to remember what the hell I was doing. Favorite Hisuian Pokemon? I don't really like most of these variants, to be totally honest with you. So, I don't know. The primordial goo. Help! Help! Okay, so I need a quick claw, I think it was. Yeah, razor claw, excuse me. I need a razor claw, and I believe that's a dawnstone. No, I don't want to trade. There's the razor. That's a little pricey. Whatever. God, we cannot afford a lot of these, can we? There's the upgrade, which we could get to. You know what? Actually, I agree. The Voltorb Electrode is probably my favorite Hisuian so far. And yeah, I haven't seen the other starters yet. And that is... It is Dawnstone, I was right. Now... Yes, Arceus. What's a mechanical cabinet? Because I don't have that much money. Decorative. Got it. Oh, it's for Rotom. Yeah, that makes sense. And the Magma Box, I think I already have used that. And yep, I have. Okay. Eh. Just double checking. Alright, hold up. I'm kind of already committed to the 2, so let's at least do the 2. Most aesthetically pleasing Pokemon. Melodic, I think. Like, there's a lot of Pokemon I like the looks of. Like, a lot. But I'd probably give that to Melodic. I think it just looks cool. Can I show? I know, the big Melodic is a better thing, but she's currently undergoing surgery. I would also give points to Lilligant. Which is this one. Hello. She's got this wonderful cape thing going on too. Hi. Also, Crobat. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Crobat, who's right up here. I never would have guessed, Pika, that Pikachu is your favorite Pokemon. I actually like a lot of Pokemon aesthetically. Picking a favorite is kind of hard. I like Ampharos over here. Whoever gave me this Ampharos is really cool. Alas, we may never know the answer to that. Least aesthetically pleasing Pokemon. So there's a lot of Pokemon I really don't like the looks of. A lot. So that's actually hard too. Yeah, there's Stunfisk. Although, actually, there's worse than that, I think. What's that bug electric that looks like a bus? Charabug. Do me a favor. Look up Charabug. I don't know if Charabug is Gen 5 or under, but Charabug. Apparently Charabug is Gen 7, my bad. It's just... What were they thinking? Alright, ugliest Pokemon. Gosh. Do I have any really ugly Pokemon here I can point to? I've never been a big fan of Machamp. It's the lips. Electivire. A lot of the third, like Magmortar, both. Magmortar and Electivire. I was like, what were you thinking? Trubbish, I actually don't mind the look of. I know I'm weird for that, but I really don't mind how Trubbish looks. Gliscor. Oh, you know what? Probopass. I don't know what gen that is, but Probopass. That might actually be the winner right there. What the hell were they thinking? I can't even. There, you will be the Ice Evo. Evo. Just for you. Okay. Hello, sitting Tepig. Yeah. It's got a big nose. It's got to have big hair. This Riolu just does not want to evolve. It's just like, nah, I'm good. Galarian Wheezing. Yeah. I don't even have to look that one up. I know that one immediately. Galarian Wheezing. Alright, if I want to... I actually like several of the Galarian variants, like the Rainbow Ponyta, the Fairy type Ponyta, which is actually one of my mains when we were doing our Sword and Shield run. I've always had a weird fondness for Muck. Which I can only explain by the fact that I love doing poison challenges. And Muck is actually pretty solid. Yeah, it's a really solid defensive poison type. And it comes naturally with, I forget what it's called, but the super poison move. The one that puts super poison on the target. Which will just absolutely shred a lot of different Pokemon. And it'll just sit there like, yeah, tanking them as they slowly bleed out. Yeah, badly poisoned. And it's just, this is in-game music, yes. But yeah, when I've done several poison challenges in my life, and Muck has carried me through at least 2 of those. A lowland Muck, not really. Damn it, well, I just lost happiness in real lives, that's great. I'm telling you, I'm never gonna get the Lucario. It's never happening. We need to accept it. Yeah, Feebas is pretty ugly, but there's actually other fish type that I dislike more. Don't ask me their names, I don't remember them. I mean, Busco Legion, which we have in this very game, is not exactly what I would call cool looking. And yeah, not a big fan of Sea King. Not a big fan of Goldeen, which is just straight up a goldfish. Not a huge fan of the ancient ones, which I can't remember what they're even called, but they don't, like, evolve. They're just ugly fish. There's actually a weirdly large amount of just fish Pokemon that are just fish. We were talking about it just the other day, Act. It's the one that's like, it's never evolved in a 1.5 million years because it's already the perfect life form. No, not that, you idiot. Stop wasting my Pokeballs. That one. Oh, and then there's Love Disc. Nobody likes Love Disc. Remember that brief, brilliant period when Cloyster was, like, just ridiculously overpowered? It only lasted 1 generation. Gen 1. But it was ridiculous for the 1 generation. Damn useless fish. What are they good for, other than eating? There's one they added in Gen 3 that I remember not liking. I'd have to be staring at a Dex. Yeah, aesthetically, I mean. Here we go. Let's see. Well, I mean, Pelipper wasn't exactly great, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Was it Explode? It might be Explode is the one I'm thinking of. Explode. I have no idea how to say that. Aggron was cool. I liked Aggron. Still one of my favorite steel types. Maybe it was Gen 4, not Gen 3. It was like a fighting type, and it looked weird, and it sucked, and I don't know. Moving on. Probably not, Lord Aramont. Well, you wanted me, Act, to use a Zoro arc, which means I need Whatcha-Figs. And so whatcha-figs I shall have. I think that's all. I mean, we already have Hydreigon. Don't know why I left the menu. What? I'm actually really low on grit dust. Go figure. Well, what kind of moves do you have? You're a normal ghost. Decent special attack. What are you? I'm a normal ghost. What do you mean to? Normal ghost. Well, it looks like special attack is what we want. At least for the moment. I don't think we have a jewelry. We have keys. We have a sword. You know what I should do. I hope you have fun with it, Savicom. Despite Act. But, no, I do hope you have fun with it. I haven't seen anything in Violet, so I don't know what new Pokemon are in that. Okay, lots of room. Let's see if we can craft up some ultras and just kind of... Oh yeah, we got a ton here. Let's make some ultras there. We can't buy grit from anyone, can we? I feel like I remember that being a thing. Can you craft star pieces? Right. You actually mentioned that earlier. And I spaced because I didn't have a crafting thing in town. Can we go with no? I do not has recipe. Yes, I actually have the smoke bombs on me this time. Never making that mistake again. You caught a bunch of crap and then immediately released it. Well, I've already done the pickle chain, to my knowledge. If there's more to the pickle chain, we haven't seen it yet. Okay, hey, Colgrim. We do have a new side quest. Okay. Well, let's go do that. Oh god, where was that guy, Shadow Machine? Not yet, Colgrim. Not yet. I guess I can do that while we're at. That'll give me a leaf stone, too. Oh, that guy. Sorry, I was actually thinking of someone else. How goes the surveying? We're getting along great, as you can tell. Wait, what's happening to Bugene? Silcoon. Just a little longer and it'll blossom into Beautifly. You can do it, Bugene. I'm doing a little bit of wrapping up, admittedly, which isn't really super interesting. We can just buy experience items. Which isn't the most engaging thing ever, but I still kind of enjoy doing this sort of thing in general, so I haven't gotten bored of that yet. I apologize if I've been boring as a streamer, though. Okay, so I forget which one of you wanted the trash one. I want to say it was him. Yeah, it was. You're the trash boy. Here you go. I forget what yours was. Mineral Burmy. I haven't seen a Mineral Burmy yet. Trash Boy. Look, all I'm saying is that the trash Pokemon I suddenly forgot the name of is actually not a bad poison type. Not as good as Muck. But still decent. Garbodor, thank you. I'll get back to that. Alright, so... I don't like Swalot. I'm going to be honest about that. Muck is cool, though. Wait, what? Where's... Oh. There it is. It's easy, Savacam. Oh my god! Sabotage. You have to give it toxic or whatever the badly poisoned ability is. And then you train up its defense, special defense, and HP. And then it poisons someone, badly poisons something. And then it sits there and smiles as the other Pokemon slowly dies. I don't remember if you can give it actual live abilities. I'd have to double check that. Which I'm doing right now. Let's see, what's our live abilities? Yeah, so it actually can learn Minimize just normally. And Acid Armor. I'm pretty sure I did Inamisha, but you'll have to give me a double check sec. Yeah, so Minimize, Acid Armor, Harden, if you want to go that route with it. I feel like it gets one of the reduce the enemy's accuracy things. Which I'm not seeing here really quick, so maybe I'm wrong. It also gets Endure, if you feel like being a dick. And yeah, you just poison the enemy to death. Have fun. Nah, hang on. I'll pull up the question bot here. We shall... So, given my professional opinion on gating side content beyond main content, how would I handle side content that deals with characters that are introduced or removed by main content, i.e., a character isn't on a planet until a certain point in the game, or a character who dies halfway through? That's a good question. So the quick and easy answer to that is New Game Plus. And that really is the quick and easy answer. One moment. Wait, Blissey can do Toxic? That's hilarious. Sootfoot Root. Oh my god. Springy Mushroom and a Hoppo Berry. Yep, Blisseys are toxic. I think I have all those, actually. But on the downside, you have to use a Blissey instead of a Muck. I mean, is that really worth it? Probably forgot what the rest I needed was. Leech Seed and Toxic. Nom, nom, nom. I do need to do that one. Springy Mushroom and Hoppo Berry. Springy Mushroom and Hoppo Berry. I mean, like I said, Inamisho, that's the easy answer. The harder answer would take more time to answer, so give me a second here. But yeah, no, you lock it behind the second playthrough. But you ungate it for the first playthrough. Like, here you go. Bong. Took to it like a Faineant to water. Alright. Recipe get. Go away. Alright. I admit I'm a little biased towards Toxic because, yes, Flame Ryuji. Because it's how my Vulpix defeated Mewtwo during the Let's Go run. It was such a nearly thing, too. We had to get the Mewtwo to be poisoned and then burned. And it was like, come on! It was so close. Anyway, sorry. Listen, sugar evolves, people. That's just life. We just have to accept that. I want to finish this quest while we're here. 73. How do I get the other Burmy? Let me just look this up super quick. 73. The Mineral Burmy. There it is. Crimson Marlins. Gape Jaw Bog. Let's just do that really quick. Okay, so just straight south. Yeah, I'm going to put out Toxic Spikes. And then Stealth Rock. And get knocked over by the Parasect, as is tradition. Capturing as I go, actually. I need more gravel. No, not yet, Act. We need to get him set up first. Which means capturing a bunch of Pokemon. Oh, God. Alright, what's this? Ah! Are you okay, Charizard? Yes, I'm fine. Fine, the Charizard can live. He's got the stats. He's got the stats. It's fine. Listen, Charizard is just super popular, okay? You just need to accept that Pikachu... I mean, Charizard. Yeah, no kidding, Blitchville. Capture. Why is Charizard popular? You know, I have no idea. Probably because it sucks so much that people feel the need to overcompensate for how much it sucks. I mean, yeah, no, let's be honest. It comes from the anime. I mean, there is actually a more objective reason why Charizard is popular, and I'm being sincere about this. Charmander is one of the better starters in Gen 1, so a decent number of people pick Charmander. It's a fire dragon, or a fire dinosaur if you prefer. And then they stick with it. There you go. There's your reason. You can sweep pretty much all of Gen 1 with Charmander and its line without much issues. It's the same general reason. We'll go with this. Whoops. Yeah, once you get past Brock, admittedly, but I stand by my statement. Because once you get past Brock, you just kind of sweep the entire rest of the game. Also, Charmander pretty much started the trend of the fire starters being stronger than they really should be. Sorry, one moment. I'm ordering lunch for people. There it is. Yeah, there's a lot of water and grass types in Gen 1. Like a lot. Like a weirdly large amount. Kind of weirdly large amount. Gen 1's kind of weird in general. For obvious reasons. There it is. I can't wait to review Gen 1. That's going to be a wild review. It's going to score so badly. It's going to score so badly. It's going to be great. Yeah, no, we're actually going to review Gen 1. I think it would count as Innovator, but I'm not 100% on that. I like several of the Gen 1 Pokemon aesthetically, but Gen 2 is really when I started liking the looks of Pokemon. And I could give a lot of examples of that, but honestly, Zubat and Golbat, Crobat. And that just makes my point for me. Yellow is Gen 1, but we're not reviewing Yellow. We're reviewing Gen 1. Yeah, Gyarados. That's... him. Yeah, Gen 2 still hadn't quite figured out what they were doing yet. And it showed. That's why I say Gen 3 is actually the first time that they started actually getting good. And even Gen 3 had issues. Yeah, you cannot move while you were wrapped. Yeah, Gen 2 had a really bad leveling curve. Really, really bad leveling curve. Oh, I love Gen 4. I've never heard of Gen 4 being underrated, but then again, I'm a Platinum guy, so how do I know? See you around, Baron. I apologize it's taking me so long. You know how it is, ordering for like 2 kids plus family. Do I try blueberry pomegranate or pineapple mango? What do y'all think? I've actually never played Pearl or Diamond, and I never will. Because Platinum was just Platinum. Imagine Platinum with another Platinum. Uh, Not sure what to make of that. You know, I'm going to go ahead and say something really unpopular. You ready for it? Here it comes. I wasn't a huge fan of the Gen 2 remakes. Not as much as the Gen 1 remakes. The Gen 1 remakes blew me completely away. They were just so good on so many levels. And then the Gen 2 remakes just didn't hit the same beats. Now you're probably asking, give us specifics, Lore. Well, it's been a while, so I don't really have a lot of specifics. Except for one. Something they added in Gen 1, I forget what they actually called it, and they changed its name later, so it's not going to help you anyways, but they added an item which allowed you to refight trainers. Now, being able to refight trainers was kind of a big deal, because trainers are the majority of your source of experience. So if you find a couple of relatively easy to fight trainers, then you're good. You just run around. It took 100 steps. And you run around for a second and then refight them in order to level up your mons and fill out your decks. And that's what I did. Gen 2's remake got rid of that and replaced it with the stupid phone, which didn't really work nearly as well. Or as reliably. The day-night cycle was really frustrating to me, I think is how I'm going to phrase that. Because, well, I only had one time during the day to play, which in my case was day. So it was always day for me when I was playing. I much prefer something like, say, in this game, where there is a day-night cycle, but it's in game time, not real time. That way I can actually experience daytime content and nighttime content without having to adjust the clock on my Game Boy. Yeah. I liked the seasons idea. That was Gen 5, I want to say. Especially because, if I'm remembering correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, the seasons were kind of in your control. You could just zone a bunch in order to change seasons if you wanted to. Like, I remember we actually did that during our review of Gen 5, where it's like, hang on, we need to be winter. Okay, now it's winter. It was real time. Well, then I hate it, and it's the worst thing ever. Any questions? Real time sucks. We might have adjusted the clock then, because I was obviously emulating that, so... So yeah, I'm going to go back to hated the execution, loved the idea. Make it an in-game thing. Give me control over it. I would never, ever emulate. Ever. Wait, what? Oh, hey, our Paris is ready to go. Yeah, I would never use an add-on in FF14, ever. Never Savicom. I would never emulate Quest 64 because my memory card had literally run out of battery and could not actually save my save. I would never do that on camera live. And yes, I'm still salty about that. God. Hey, Blue Fusion Bolt. I mean, if you remember, we actually tried to play Suikoden 2 legit as well. That also didn't work out. So I would never use add-ons in FF14, but the primary add-ons I use, obviously the DPS meter, is the biggest and most important one, and the one I would recommend everyone use. That is ACT. Not that I would know anything specific about that. ACT is what it's called, and I definitely don't know anything about getting it set up. Or it is actually kind of a pain to get set up, because it's actually a parser, not a true DPS meter. But it's still as good as it gets because they haven't relinquished their hold on that, so that sucks. Yeah, yes, Giga Pudding. That's exactly what I was talking about. There's T's with alternating current in them. But as far as actual add-ons, I actually don't remember. I'd have to pull up. They're all HUD stuff. It's all HUD-based stuff. If you give me a second, let me fire up my FF14 launcher. Okay. Hang on. Oh, whoops. I apparently have to have Steam up to log into FF14 via Steam. Who knew? Now, that may sound weird, but when I'm using add-ons, I don't log in via the FF14 launcher. I log in via the add-on launcher. Not that I would ever do that. Wink, wink. But yeah, it's all HUD stuff. It's all... hey, Spring Sales Live. I need to check my wish list. But for now, let's log into FF14 here really quick. Railway Empire. Why is that on my list? No. I can totally give away names now because I'm not streaming FF14. It's safe. No one cares here. What is this? This came out just a few years ago. Is it on the list? Can someone do me a favor and check the list really quick, please, to see if Railway Empire is on it? Because that's usually why stuff is on my my wish list. Oh, I don't know. Flame review sheet. Like, the problem is, and this really is the problem, most add-ons are cool. I'm down with add-on support. But most of the functionality add-ons should probably be baked into the main game. And what's interesting is they usually are. In both FF14 and WoW's case, is a lot of functions that were add-ons have become vanilla, have become part of the default UI at this point. But they're slow to do that, and I'm not really 100% sure why. What's that, S.A. Ross? Hey, okay, so what add-ons do I use here? So Dalamud is obviously the big one. Dalamud is not actually an add-on, it is a source of other add-ons. Looks like I use Death Recap, for obvious reasons. Delve UI, that's my HUD replacer. I also was trying a couple of other things, but it looks like actually at this point all I'm using is Delve UI, believe it or not. So that's it. It's just Delve UI. It's a better way of keeping track of, for example, class bars. Oh, it is on the list. Thank you. I will go and buy that. It's a better way of keeping track of like class-specific mechanics, and health and buffs and debuffs, dots, hots, all that kind of stuff. It's just a neater way to keep track of a lot of the basic functionality of the game in a way that it parses better for me visually, so I can see at a glance. And that's actually it. That's the big one right there. Otherwise, I just use ACT. Not that I would ever do that. All right, so let's go ahead and buy Railway Empire really quick, and then remember that I'm streaming another game, and go back to the game I'm streaming. Okay, so, God, I am so low on dust. This is weird. I might actually have to just start blowing these dusts. Aw. Yeah, I'm very low on dust. Well, whatever. Let's EV it up. Oh God, Ross. Starfield is on sale. You should go buy it. It's totally not crap. Please, please buy our game. Please buy our game, please. We swear it's good. We swear, oh god. Yeah, no, I'm quite aware. You probably didn't notice, Flame Ryuji, but I just released, like, I don't know, like 15 Pokemon just now. Yeah, all the ones that were here, I just dumped in order to get those. You're fine. I know most people listen rather than watch. Sadness. Yeah, please, please buy our game. We'll do anything. We'll do anything. What do I want to raise with you? I can raise 2 things on you, or I could raise Friscoborn. Let's get Friscoborn's special attack maxed out. I think that's worthwhile. And speed, yeah. As for the other one, let's do HP. I think that's a good choice. No, I'm not actually making fun, Kogram. I know a lot more people listen to me than watch me. It's fine. I'm not actually hurt about it. Occasionally, it's a little frustrating, especially when I'm playing a game that is primarily focused on, you know, the game. You know, a game that takes a lot of my time and attention. And then, so people are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm playing the game. What do you want from me? Why? Let's see, is anything else super on sale? Deep Rock Galactic is on sale. What the hell is the Forgotten City, and why is it on my wish list? What is Stellar Tactics, and why is it on my wish list? This is the problem with how I use my wish list. A lot of these games I'm like, what the hell is this? I'll go ahead and buy the Stellaris DLC. Why not? I know I'm going to use that someday. Haven Dock is on sale, but it's also still in early access, so it can wait. MechWarrior 5's DLC is on sale. I'll go ahead and grab that. Yeah, no, I use the Steam wish list kind of as, well, as an actual wish list. But also as a way to keep track of games that I have interest in someday. Looks like that's actually it. River City Girls 2 has still not got on sale. That's very sad. Alright, whatever. Back to the game. Look. Paradox's DLC model is so bad, I give it a negative every single time I review one of their games. However, it doesn't help that most of the time, well, maybe most of the time, but at least half the time, those DLCs are actually worth it. So I don't know what you want from me. Hi, Loner. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Don't look at me. I mean, that's the irritating part, too. It really is only about half the time it's worth it. If it was worth it all the time... Yeah, that's the other reason, Colgrim. If it was worth it all the time, then it would be a much less problematic decision. Even then, the Paradox DLC approach is still problematic top to bottom. It's understandable. It's usually worth it. But imagine if someone who's never played Stellaris asks me right now, is it worth playing Stellaris? My automatic answer is going to be, yeah, Stellaris is a great game. And then I'm going to pause and hesitate, because then I have to talk about whether or not it's worth it picking up the DLCs. And that person is now facing a choice of buying a game that's no longer $10, but like $150. And that's if they get it on sale. Now, I was about to say, Paradox has recently started prototyping this subscription-based system. To be very, very clear, I'm never using that subscription-based system. That's terrible. For me. But if you just want to see if you like, you know, Stellaris, if you just want to play it for a month, once and then put it down, and you don't want to spend the $150 for the whole game or whatever the actual price is these days. The subscription-based model is actually not a terrible idea. Because then you go ahead, you have all the DLCs, you buy the game, or, subscribe to the game, cool. And then you're done with the game, you put the game down, and you unsubscribe. Part of the problem there is that unsubscribe step. Because people have a lot on their minds and have this really, really bad tendency to forget that they are subscribed to something. It's so bad, there are entire business models dedicated towards getting you unsubscribed, taking your money to unsubscribe from things. Please think about that for 5 seconds. There are entire business models whose whole job it is to take your money so that you can stop spending money on things that are taking your money. Yeah, making things difficult to unsubscribe is a whole other level of bullcrap. That's been around for a while. That goes back to the magazine era. Or yeah, gyms. That's another one. There was a charity I supported. I'm not going to name the charity. And I'm going to emphasize, however, that it was past tense supported. And I decided to go ahead and stop supporting them at one point because I was low on money. And so I needed to trim the belt a little bit. The amount of hoops that I had to jump through in order to get them to allow me to no longer support them financially was sufficiently large that I am never going to support them again. Just that assholery pisses me off so much on so many levels. I hate that crap. Even if that money was actually supporting someone, I don't care anymore. Yeah, if it was a simple subscribe, unsubscribe thing, sure. Done. I haven't used Humble Bundle in quite a while, no. That is possible, even. I will freely admit, to my shame, that I did not 100% vet this particular charity. I usually do. There's a reason I support Médecins Sans Frontières, and there's a reason I support the Prevent Cancer Foundation. And that's it. Those are the two. There is one place that keeps trying to bilk me every now and again for a subscription that I have never had. I'd say, guess if you can guess what it is, but you super cannot. So I'll just tell you, it's Barnes & Noble. Of all frickin' people, it's Barnes & Noble. They have insisted that I have a yearly subscription, which is like $200, for years now. And every year I have to fight that charge individually and manually. I don't actually have a subscription with them. I don't have an account with them. No email that I have that has ever existed has an account with them. Like if I go to say recover, password or whatever, it's not there. I have nothing with Barnes & Noble, and yet they continue to insist on trying to charge me every year I have to manually fight that every year. One of these days, I'm kind of vaguely hopeful that the fact that your card changes as it slowly expires will eventually reach a point where they'll stop having access to my card, essentially, and they'll stop being able to charge. Because yeah, and yeah, if you're saying who's Barnes and Noble, then thank you. I appreciate that legitimately. It makes me happy to know that people don't know who Barnes and Noble are. Well, it's funny you say that, Savacom, because I did that just a few weeks ago. For an unrelated reason, actually. Oh, 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 oh. Finally, our last happiness Pokemon. Yay. Yeah, Barnes & Noble used to be one of my safe places. I used to go there pretty regularly. This is during my late high school years. To just be away from everyone and everything else, and just to read for a while. I got a lot of reading done there. If I have referred to a book or a comic anytime ever in my show, there's a decent chance I read it while I was sitting there at Barnes & Noble in one of their comfy little plush chairs, just reading. That's a good question, Von Falkenstein. I do remember Borders, actually. I last saw Borders back in, that would have been about 2006 or so, something like that. Well, I guess I don't have to keep... I guess I was kind of idle moding there because I was trying to raise my Rioldo, but I don't have to do that anymore. So now I'm just looking for shaking trees. That's all I care about. Trees that are shaking. This is the exact same thing that just happened to us yesterday. Alright, I need shaking trees. None of the trees are shaking. Alright, I need resources. All the trees are shaking. Ah, damn. Oh, sorry, Nithrius. I did catch it, but I didn't write it down because I have no brain. So, looks like that's Felseal, Arbiter's Mark, and you get 2 other things. Even non-financial contributions can pick 3 things. Do you want to put that towards the Pixel Remasters and Pokemon Violet as well? No shinies. We're never getting a shiny. It's okay. I'm cool with it. You got it. So I'll just add that to this. Make that easy. And thank you for being part of my show, Nithrius. I do appreciate you. Yeah, where's my frickin' male Combi? God. Yeah, no, I at this point, I'm starting to think I'm just going to continue not having a shiny. For those of you who have not heard me say this, I have only gotten 1 shiny in my life. That is not one of the plot-mandated shinies. A shiny Roggenrola during our X and Y run. I have to do some work doing it, Ross. I have to do some paperworky stuff. I don't have a Pachirisu. And I have to do taxes, obviously. There's something else. There is a work thing I have to do. It came up this week, and I don't remember what it is, but I do have to do it. Ride to Hell Retribution is actually funded. It is on the someday list, alongside FF6, Chrono Trigger, and Mario Odyssey, and Undertale. Yes, I got Pachirisu right here. You might wonder why I like Pachirisu so much. First of all, it's cute. But second of all, this is kind of a weird story. When my sister and I met for the first time in person, one of the things we did, I've actually shared some of these stories because we played Twilight Princess. That's where the latter story comes from, and the left meme comes from. We played Mario Kart, obviously, and we played Pokemon Gen 4, Platinum specifically. And we were trading and going off, and one of the random fun things we were chatting about was which Pokemon are each of we. You know, which Pokemon is our representative in the game in question. I apparently should pause in this story, because apparently Twitch just threw a gasket there. No, Ross. My yearly taxes have been done for quite some time. I have to do taxes every 3 months. I have to do something called estimated taxes. Now, I'd make fun, but estimated taxes actually aren't that bad. Not really. Anyways, I'm going to finish telling the story, and apparently my food is here, so we'll deal with that. So, no, you're fine, Ross. So we were playing it, and we were playing the game, Who Are We? The decision was I was Crobat, because of various reasons, and that she was Pachirisu. And the reason specific was because we were in the middle of a battle. We hadn't decided which one she was yet. And one of us, I actually forget which, was doing a battle, and we were fighting a Pachirisu, which absolutely kicked our ass, because it was a Pachirisu with decent EVs, and was a trainer Pachirisu, and we weren't really good against lightning, or electric type, rather. So that was it. Very cute, cuddly, doesn't get a lot of, attention as being a big, flashy, fancy Pokemon. Totally overshadowed by the Pokemon which it is a clone of, but still totally capable of kicking your ass if the need comes into being. And that's my sister. I'm going to go grab lunch. I'll see you guys in a bit.